My laptop is closed by 10 a.m. every single day. And it's not because I'm lazy, it's because every prop firm I've blown has been after 10 a.m. while I can't peel myself off the charts. I'm Kevin, I go by Trade Drip, and in just the last 2 months, I pulled out over $75,000 from prop firms using one 30-minute window. And in this video, I'm giving you this entire window. What I marked before the bell, what I'm actually waiting for, and the thing that makes me close the laptop whether I'm up or down. And before anything, I'm showing you proof. Because I've been that guy watching someone's content, wondering if a single thing he's saying is real. Okay, first, here is Tradify. We made $11,353 with them before they sent me to a live account. This is what happens when you don't pay enough eval fees and just get funded with payouts right away. They don't like that risk, so they move you to live. Lucid, we have 18 accounts here, all over 15, 16, $1,000, $1,100, times 18 accounts there. And Apex just moved me to live today. I had an $18,000 payout that I was one trade away from. I had a $2,000 payout that was already qualified, and then I got an email saying that they are moving me to a live account. That's the only reason this show is blown. As you can see, 1,500, 1,500, 1,500, 2,000s, ton of payouts there through them, right? I'm gonna show you guys the email they sent me for going live. Last payout was approved on 8/11. Again, I had another $18,000 ones that I was waiting one more day for to get that one. And then they sent me this account. Congratulations on advancing to live accounts. They did that. I'm not getting paid that extra 18,000, but it is what it is. There's the receipts. Now you don't have to wonder if you're wasting your time listening to me. Here's what I want you to understand first, because the setup means nothing without this. Most traders aren't losing because their strategy is bad. They're losing because they gave themselves 6 hours on the chart to make a mistake. Think about how much screen time you actually give yourself. You sit down at 9:30, nothing shows up. 10:30, still nothing. Now it's 11:30 and you've been staring at the charts for 2 hours. And your brain starts doing this. Hey, that kind of looks like an IFVG. Hey, this could be a CISD. Hey, that's basically the unicorn setup. And we've all been there. I've been on the charts for an hour and a half telling myself, this looks decent, I might as well take it so I can just get off the charts. And that's not a strategy problem. That's a screen time problem. And the fix, it's not a better setup. The fix is less time to be wrong. Now, when we first start, yes, we do need a lot of screen time, but that starts to become our kryptonite as we get farther into our trading career. So here's what I did. I gave myself one window, 9:30 to 10 a.m. That's the whole job. And I want to be clear about something, because this is where most people trading a similar model get it wrong. Everyone wants to wait for the 10 a.m. PO3. I don't. I'm looking for the manipulation at 9:30, which means I'm usually done before the setup that everyone's waiting for has formed. 30 minutes is just enough time to stay sharp and not enough time to talk myself into something. And the other half, nothing matters before 9:30. Not the news, not pre-market, not what NASDAQ did overnight, not a sweep that happened at 8:30. If it happened before the bell, it does not exist to me. So here we have pre-market, we have 9:30 to 10, which is our window, and the rest of the session. This is our window here. I'm not gonna draw candlesticks because that's gonna take too long, but I'm gonna show you. Here's pre-market, okay? Here we have a high, and now we go into our 9:30 window. We're gonna say that here we have a fair value gap. When price gets into this zone, let's say price gets here. We just took out this high from pre-market. That doesn't mean anything. I'm not looking for that. What I wanna see, price come in into this fair value gap and put in a high. After that high is put in, I'm doing nothing until boom, this high that just got put in this zone is taken out. And then we should usually have an SMT with ES, meaning this high here, let's say it's 936. On ES, the high is 933. 2 different times, 2 different highs, giving us SMT. And then at that point here, we have our CISD entry. So once price took out this high in this zone in my window, I'm not worried about this high because that's before 9:30. I am worried about the fair value gaps before 9:30 because that is our zone. So once price takes out that high that was right here, I wait for us to get underneath the low for the CISD, and I target this low, or I target this wick over here, and I walk away because price might come back up here before eventually slamming down and hitting our TP at 9:30. And then after this, price can do whatever the hell it wants because now we're done with the trade and here is the rest of the market. When you're outside walking your dog, hanging out, or even going to work because you didn't have to quit your job because we're only trading 9:30 to 10, none of this matters. That's happening the rest of the session. This is our window of opportunity and this is what we're looking for. Now let me show you a real life example that happened just the other day. Now let me walk you through this. It takes 10 minutes to set this thing up. I show up at 9:20, 10 minutes before the open. The first thing I do is I draw a horizontal line right at 9:30. This tells me where my window is, and my second horizontal line I draw at 10 a.m. So this is my window of opportunity that I'm looking for a trade. Next thing I do is I open up my Lux Algo sessions indicator. I do this on the 15-minute and I mark out my sessions highs and lows, and I turn on my indicator for fair value gaps. This just helps me view things a lot easier. So I like to start on the daily just to kind of see where we're at. We're on a daily fair value gap here, the 4 hour. We're on another bullish fair value gap, the 1 hour. We're tapping into a bearish one potentially. And then the 15-minute is the most important. This is where I'm basing my higher time frame PD arrays from. Now what I do is I mark out the 15-minute fair value gaps. So here we've got a bullish one, and then we've got a couple of bearish ones. So what I do is I just mark out all of them together because I still want to wait for confirmation inside of these. All right, so drop down to the 1 minute time frame, and nothing matters before 9:30. So everything around here does not matter to me. I wait for one of these zones to get hit. My checklist here. So we are in a higher time frame PD array, my 15 minutes. So I check that off there. Now I'm not doing anything till we get to these zones. In this example, we're at the zone a lot quicker. So here, what I'm waiting for now that we're in our zone, I'm waiting for the aligned time frame, which I'm on, the 1 minute. 15-minute is my higher time frame. The 1 minute is my aligned time frame, my lower time frame. I'm waiting for a liquidity sweep. That's the next thing in this zone. So now we have a high put in here. I want to see this high get taken out. So I mark out this high and I wait for it to get taken out. It gets taken out here. So here we mark off my liquidity sweep. And then I'm also looking for S&T. I'm not going to go into that right now, but S&T is a very strong confluence with this. So let's just go ahead and clear that off the chart right now. So a CISD entry would technically be right here, correct? Now here's the thing. If I take a short from here with my stop at the high, I'm at 62 points. That's way too much risk, way too big of a stop loss for me, so I'm not interested. So what I'm doing is I'm dropping to the 30-second. I'm seeing if there's a more clear entry. Same thing here, CISD, if anything on this one's actually even lower to right here. That's not gonna work. So then we go to the 15-second. The 15 seconds in this case, your CISD would be even lower. 88 points, not interested. So there's no setup yet. Let's go ahead and delete that. We wanna see another high get put in some bearish candles just to give us a better entry here. So let's move forward. All right, so right here, we swept the high that got put in here, and then you drop down to the 15-second. Now here's our high, the highest point right there. Here's our CISD, and then I'm targeting the local wick. So right here is a pretty obvious wick to hit. Down here could be pretty obvious as well too, especially the fact that we don't have a bottom wick right here, which means we have not manipulated into that there. I believe my TP was here when I took this, right? So look at this, our CISD is gonna be right here. Now we have a 20-point stop as opposed to a 60, 80-point stop that we had on the 1 minute. And this is off the 30 seconds. I believe I took it on the 30 seconds. Yeah, I believe it was a 30-second. So your entry right here, your stop at the high right here. So this is where you need to trust your setup. Now we have our higher time PD array that's been tapped into. Our line time frame is going to be the 1 minute, 30-second, or 15-second. We got our liquidity sweep. Now we're looking for an IFEG or a change in state of delivery. We get our change in state of delivery right here. So you can actually enter on a retest right here, or you could enter on that close of that candle. And down to this low here, which is what I targeted, it's a 3.2R. Go ahead and price forward. And right here, we hit TP. Mind you, this is the 30-second chart. On the 1 minute chart, we entered here. It was here where we entered on the 30-second chart. So we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes, and we hit a full 3R trade here. And look at the time, 9:49, you're off the charts. Let's see how far this thing goes if it went down to this level here where we have no wick. Boom, Yep. So if you wanted to hold, you could have went break even there. And right here, there's no bottom wick. We slanted TP. That would have been a 4 to 4.8 R. Me, I got off the charts. But by 9:52, you hit a 4.5 R trade and you're done for the day. So first thing, wait for 9:30 open. Number 2, wait for price to reach a 15-minute higher time frame PD array. Number 3, you want to see a high or low get put in this zone. Number 4, the high or low gets swept in that zone. Number 5, you want to confirm SMT with ES. And then number 6, enter off the CISD or the IFEG. And your targets, local wick. This could be the 9:30 wick, any obvious wick, or even a candle with no wick, because that means price hasn't manipulated into that wick, into that candle yet, which is the example I've showed you guys earlier here. Now there's 2 questions that I get constantly. Number 1, what if the setup doesn't show up in this window? Then there's no trade. That's not a bad day. That's the system working. Not every day has an A+ setup. And the whole point of the drip system is to protect you on the days it doesn't, not to manufacture one and pretend that you see something. The second question I get, what if I miss my entry? Then you miss it. Chasing an entry after the trigger's gone isn't the system anymore. That's revenge trading with extra steps. Now what you can do is set a limit order at a retest of that initial entry, but there's no chasing it if price is already gone without you. And the last thing, stop focusing on the payout. The second you start thinking I'm only $300 away, you stopped asking, is this my setup? And start asking, is this the trade that can get me to my next payout? And the market doesn't care what your goal is. A B setup doesn't become an A+ setup because you want it to. Show up, follow the drip system, and let the payout find you. So that's the window. And I want to be clear of what you just watched. That was a quick look into what I call the drip system. This is what actually made me profitable because it's more than a setup. The setup is one piece of it. The max daily loss, the number you set it at, how you journal it, and how you scale it once it's working. That's the rest of the system. And that's the part nobody shows you. If you want the rest of it, come get it in the free Discord. Links in the description. Subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.